What's up? What's up?
I'm one of your co-hosts, Jordan Jamiola. To my right,
Sam.
And to his right,
Evan. I forgot my name for a second.
and to Evan's
What are
right.
you gonna say?
That one guy. And to my right,
Me, Tim Fisher.
Let's go.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Now we have the proper introduction.
Yeah.
This is our June 2023 monthly review. This is kind of a fun day because we all haven't been in the same room at the same time, and it's been, I think, over 2 months.
Over 2 months.
It has been a minute, Sam.
Yes, sir.
It's good to see you, man, dude.
It's good to see
So
you.
good.
That's it, man, dude.
It's really
Yeah, we keep. Do you listen to you listen to the gang podcast? Where I'm
Yep.
like, hey, Sam. I always make sure we give you a shout out.
Yep.
Like, hey, we love
Yeah.
you, dude.
Yep.
Just handle your stuff. Get work done. You always got a spot on here.
I love that, dude.
And also,
I love that.
speak-
Always shout me out.
dude, speaking of getting work done, wow. Dude, Sam, you look amazing. This is like the definition of Adonis right here.
Yeah, let's-
look at
let's
this
talk
guy.
about
Absolutely.
this.
Hey, I
Look at this
appreciate
guy.
that, bro. But I did get work done in a way
Oh.
on the treadmill, baby. And I'm trying to.
Oh, ring it, dude. I think that was Sam's first joke.
You thought, yeah.
Bro,
You're like,
I was
oh.
like, wait, did you get some lipo? Or-
I thought I was like, you get a job, Sam? You get What? I was thinking, I was like, what did he do?
I don't get it.
No, dude, that was a good joke. I was like, oh shit, we're going there.
I did do some
Get work done.
Hey.
Psych.
on the treadmill.
On the treadmill.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think, hey, like I said, this is what the show's about. We're celebrating people. Sam, you put in work, and you
Yes,
like when
sir.
you walked in, we all noticed it, and
Oh,
that's why we had to compliment you and say, hey, great job. You're looking chiseled in the jaw, dude. Everything. You look healthier too. Not that you look bad. There's a funny part, but
Yes.
I want to acknowledge it because of the work it does take to lose weight. If you want to get down and get healthy and get to where you want to be and build muscle or cardio, it takes discipline, dude.
I think all you all
job.
know it too. Thank you, bro. All of you guys know how hard it takes discipline, and it's like it's every day, and it's a mentality.
Yep.
You know. So, and then I think it's also understanding yourself.
Yep.
You know, understanding
part.
right. You know
Yeah.
what works and what doesn't.
Absolutely.
And, you know, changing things up, not necessarily listening to everybody around you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
Out here,
I was like, it's like indirect fat shaming. I immediately was like,
bro. You're
I'm
less
like-
than me.
I'm like,
What?
but when you walked in, I went, fuck, I should have worked out today. I was like, I talked myself into giving myself a day off.
It's
but
fine,
I
yeah.
immediately was guilty as soon as you walked in. I was like,
Hey, I worked out today.
no, but see,
Worked out today.
did.
But look, you're always looking stacked. You're always looking good. Okay, me and Sam always talk about. We're like, how much you lose? What are you doing different? You know, like we're just this little side convo.
What's your
you know?
bench at?
Yeah, I was like, that's not bad. It's getting better.
What
You
are
know,
you squatting these days?
yeah, I can't compare myself to you guys. It's like me and Sam here.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. My plan was to run 13 and get 1,500 feet of climbing in. Right, I'm trying to get my ultra marathon legs back and
Yeah.
Yeah.
get the running in. And by mile 8, I was like, "You are not who you used to be, Tim.
Damn.
I'm hurting right now,
Yeah.
dude."
Yeah.
And I had that thought, like, "Why the hell am I out here right now? There's nobody out on this trail. I'm suffering for what?"
You know what? Hang on. You know why, Tim? I could answer that for you.
What's up, baby?
Because you are that guy. You
That
are
dude.
him. He is him. He is him.
Good pull.
They call him Hemi Fisher.
Hemi Fisher.
Hemi Fisher.
All I know is I got done. I had the RV, and I went and got a California burrito. I was starving because my Garmin watch said I burned like 2,900 calories.
Insane.
God.
And I sent the picture to Sam.
Yeah.
Like, Sam, we were talking
Yeah.
about it tonight, and I was like, "Hey, dude, check this out."
Ridiculous.
awesome.
Because Sam's been hiking.
Yeah, man.
He's been out there.
yeah?
He's
I've
been posting
hiking, bro.
stuff.
About 8 miles.
Where do you hike at?
Where did I go? To was South Orange County, basically.
It's Crystal Cove,
Crystal,
right?
but it's on the other side. You went.
So,
Laguna, right?
Is that same?
You talking about the other side of the freeway?
Yeah.
That's El Moro, but it's Crystal
Okay.
Cove still.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude,
okay.
Crystal
That's
Cove,
where I was
man.
at.
Oh, I miss
Yeah,
that
man.
place so
Such a
much.
beautiful area.
But, you know, I want to throw this back at Tim. So he sent me the picture, and it was amazing. Like, basically, what he does is this climb the entire time. But I mean, that's what I did too. But one thing that is incredibly hard is to look at his pace and his elevation. So I looked at his pace, and my pace is about like 20, 19, 18, and it gets lower because then I'll start to pick it up and run, and then I'll be at around like maybe like 15, 16. Dude had an average of 13.1.
Jesus.
And I was like, 13? A 13 minute mile?
Like when he hits the start button,
Right.
he just starts sprinting. All right, we're going to ease into this. He's just like, so see you later. You're like, dude,
Bro,
warm up, bro. Warm up.
Stretch.
He's ready.
This is my warm up.
No, I mean, okay.
So it takes-
so,
oh, sorry.
I mean, I know it's being. I put it on my watch, right? Because that's how I train. I look back. Okay, here's where I was at. I need to get to here.
Yeah.
But people don't understand. Like that climbing is so incredibly difficult running. So incredibly difficult, and and you're talking like 70% of that run is just going to the top. It hurts. It hurts. But what's encouraged me, and Sam, you didn't know this, is seeing your stories and you putting up that you were hiking and working out. And that's what originally I remember telling myself, you need to get back into trail running and you need to get out there and get your ultra legs back. So,
Yeah.
dude,
Oh,
you're inspiring. Dude.
Inspiring everybody. Everybody
No
inspiring
big deal.
everybody.
Day one, he goes out there and hammers out. I just want to say something. I had this like little thought. You're like, I've been running uphill for 8 miles, and my inner monologue started questioning, why are you here? What are you doing? You're not who you used to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that inner monologue sometimes once I make it to brush my teeth. And it takes Tim running straight up a mountain for 8 miles to feel that. So I'd say you're doing pretty good.
Kudos to
I'm just kidding.
Hey.
man.
Just fine.
Dude, look, man, it's just, I don't know. It was good. I don't think people realize when you do put up things that are encouraging, even just your workout, not to show off, but to show, hey, like, yeah, you're putting in work. Look at the beautiful view. If you get outside and go for a hike like you did, Sam. And I remember that day I was feeling down. I remember thinking, dude, I need to get back out there and get my trail running legs back and start running these ultras again, because the happiness I got from it, even though it was so freaking hard, is hard to explain. It's therapy in itself. And even today, even when I was broke off and tired and there's nobody on the trail, it's hot, I came back to my RV and chilled, and I was actually in such a great mood because I had the sun on my face. I was challenging myself. I can hear the birds. It's almost like this weird oasis at Crystal Cove where you don't feel like there's many houses around. You feel more like it's in the mountains, but the ocean's right there.
Right.
Which is super cool. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Actually, I want to touch on something that you just said. It's like, you're outside, you're getting sunlight, you're out like next to the beach, is a beautiful view. But the one thing that you said that like after doing this incredibly hard run where you're questioning like, why am I even here? Who am I?
Yeah.
I'm not the guy I used to be. But you know what? You did it. And the thing is, the moral of the story is like, it's always good to do hard things.
Right.
It's always good to
Right.
push yourself.
Right.
And so by
Challenge
pushing,
yourself, dude.
yeah.
Well said.
Yep.
Well, damn.
Yeah, baby. 'Cause
Okay,
you get better.
guys, we're back.
That's definitely a poster. Absolutely. You gotta wear the hat though. Absolutely.
Well, Jordan, what do you want to start with, dude? You
Well-
lead it today, baby.
Okay, so so there's a lot I'm sure we can scrounge up, but we narrowed it down to some really simple topics. I'm just kidding, they're actually super complex. But the first one, and probably the most recent thing that's as far as on popular media, is the Titan Submarine. That was it, I believe, 8 passengers?
Was it really 8?
It was 7 or
Something like
8.
that.
Yeah. something
Anyway, they were supposed to go see the Titanic on the ocean floor, and at some point, there was a catastrophic event. And I'm not a scientist or anything, but as far as implosion, depending on how far down it got, because the deeper they go, there's a chance
more
of
pressure.
crumpling because of pressure, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so as this happened, first and foremost, obviously terrible. It's sad. It is sad. Actually, we'll hold that one for later.
Yeah, I'm over here trying not to. Yeah.
Okay, so no,
I don't sound.
let's talk about it right now.
Yeah.
I like that because you know what? I feel this way, and this is a good place to vent about stuff.
Yes.
Hold on, Sam. This is gonna sound so terrible, but you know who wasn't on that sub? Black people.
Exactly.
Our people.
Exactly.
You know
I
what
saw
I'm saying, dude?
I wasn't going with that, but
A bunch of white
I
billionaires,
think that's
baby.
true. I don't know if they're all white.
Yep. No, one was, or a couple weren't. Yeah, I remember.
And this is not
there's
just
probably some off-white. Some blend.
Vanilla bean.
That's great.
First thing that came to my head. Just a splash.
Okay,
That's
hear me out
great.
when I say this. Yeah, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I remember I was at work, and I just looked over to one of the young firefighters, and I was like, you know what, man? I said, that's white people shit. He was like, what do you mean, sir? I was like, you see one brother on that freaking sub?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why? What are we doing?
Why?
And the crazy part is, I don't want to say, well, it is crazy. In that sub, there wasn't like a glass, end on it or a wall or a window or anything to even see it. They saw on screens.
Wow.
So why not just watch a documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, or be on the controls thing, the actual drone that they send down to do it.
That's some dumb people shit.
Dumb
That's
Thank you.
that's-
And sometimes white and dumb get
Synonymous, I'm saying. They overlap.
That's true, actually. There are some of those.
But yeah, okay.
But yeah, so no, it kind of the subject matter, right, is that I didn't, obviously I feel bad as far as feeling bad that someone lost their life, and in this case a group. And then there's one little story in there which I don't know how true or not it is, but they were doing it for Father's Day weekend. This guy wanted his kid to go. His kid originally said no. And his kid's like, I think it's 19, so not like little, but not on their own, and probably
interesting about that. The son who went on, the mom, she spoke for the first time. She was actually supposed to be on there, but her son kept bugging her and saying it was a dream. Like, hey, I want to go. So they switched spots.
Wow.
Can you imagine how that mom probably feels right now?
Yep.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's sad. Shouldn't have done it. Which I also agree. Like, why would you do it? You know what I mean? It's like these are one of those things where, like, for example, if the people that rode up with Jeff Bezos when they did the launch where they, it's the first time civilians been in space, and half of those civilians were also rich people, and I think William Shatner or something was on there. He was. Now, if that exploded, because it's a fucking missile that you strap yourself onto, would people be sad? Of course. But it's also like you're tying it to like the same thing, not to not be empathetic for anyone who has lost, but I mean, it's funny you said white people shit, because like I said the exact same thing. I was like, that's rich white people shit. You're like, I'm gonna be on the moon. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, fucking okay.
Well, did you guys see all the memes that that came? The one that stuck out to me the most, and it's look, we have dark humor. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they showed, it said poor person, casket, middle class, same casket, upper class rich, same casket. It said billionaires, and then it had the Titan Submarine.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was like,
but that's it's kind of it's a parody of the situation.
The Titanic.
Because I saw one too. It was a Fisher Price like helicopter, like put together by PVC pipe. And it said like $250,000 rides to volcanoes. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? This costs a lot of money. That's obviously why billionaires and people of that stature are able to do it. Backstory about the sub. The sub had 11 successful missions, but what's unclear is what the depth that it went at. And so that was kind of interesting. So it's like, even though, yes,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, it's like, how much of the media do you believe, not believe, or what do they tell you to make for a better story? Because there was a lot of stuff coming out where they cut corners. They used the the game controller you can buy for $12 on Amazon is the same thing that piloted the sub from inside, and it's like, okay, cool, but like people use that as like this was just a shitty construction, and I'm not saying that it wasn't. I have no clue,
Right?
But it's like you tie in like one thing, and it's like, well, if they needed a modular controller and they had something that worked that was a video game stick, and they're giving it to regular people to go do this, you keep it as basic as possible, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not trained professionals, so that's why it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, there was enough behind it. It wasn't like, this is our first time ever. Okay. Because then I would be like, I might feel more worse in that case.
Right.
Where I was like, man, they really just didn't know.
Yeah, but
You know?
Yeah.
think about this, you guys. I walk up to you, Evan, Sam, Jordan. Hey guys, I got the money. I built a sub with somebody. We're gonna go down to the deepest part of the ocean. Okay? And how do I control it? I use a cheap PlayStation controller. That's Bluetooth.
Yeah.
My headphones have problem above water getting Bluetooth. I would hope you guys would look at me and be like,
I don't know, dog.
yeah.
I don't know, dog.
I'd be like, how about this?
I would say
I'll be there for when you guys launch off.
Yeah.
And then when you get back,
you get
I'll be
back
the
up.
first person you see.
Exactly. I'll welcome
It's
you
kind of
back
like
on
we
the
did
way
it together, but I didn't go.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd just be like, no, man, I'm sorry. I wouldn't do it.
No. You know what? I haven't looked too deep into this, but has there been anything recovered that could be something like a black box?
I don't know about black box, but they know, like, as far as recording systems and
Right,
stuff like
right,
that.
yeah.
They found pieces of the sub that may have remains of individuals inside, but not as far as like this was this person, this was that person. And it's just really interesting because the timing of this, you know, again, this is where the conspiracy side kicks in. It was like, so that happened over the weekend, and supposedly that information that there was a catastrophic event and failure
was
happened on
withheld,
Sunday, right? But it was withheld being talked about till, the results of that were held to keep it going because that same Sunday was with the arraignment with Hunter Biden and the information about him getting the plea deal after the DOJ taking their, you know, with all the backstory of everything going on with the computer. You know, and it was just basically talking about embezzlement and
You know what's
power
happened
usage.
at the same time when that Titan sub they were withholding information?
Mm-hmm.
JP Morgan Chase paid off all the Jeffrey Epstein people who were
What?
involved, $200 million to those affected by him.
Whoa.
And they somehow lost over a million plus emails between them and Epstein and the government.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was also lost.
Whoa.
That happened during that time.
So that was because that was when JP Morgan was going after the account holdings from the island, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever country
Right.
controls or whatever that region is in, they were withholding. This has been going on for like the last year and a half.
Yeah.
You know, they've been trying to get that money back.
Right.
And
Well, it peaked. It peaked at the same time, and this is not to. It's sad that this happened. Like, I wouldn't wish. All joking aside, and how we kid, it's tragic, right?
Absolutely.
There are multiple families that are in mourning and hurting right now.
yeah.
But you're going to tell me that. But how come in the news it also didn't hit that J.P. Morgan Chase paid out $200 million to those who were affected by Epstein or getting possibly raped or sex trafficked, and they lost all the emails and records. They were just accidentally deleted by an employee at JP Morgan Chase, and now 1 million plus emails are gone that linked them to him.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
I mean,
Yeah.
I really am not.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because, like, a lot of the shit that we talk about on here, like,
Yep.
to me, like, if you didn't, if you were telling somebody that, like little pieces that we've been talking about, like this specifically, you'd be like, oh man, that sounds like a movie, or it sounds like not real.
Yeah.
And then it's just little things like slip in there. They're like, oh yeah, that happened. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
the
it's
sub's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. And that's the thing, right? Is that it's like, so that happened, right? The, I said arraignment, but I think it was the decision because it came out that Hunter, instead of like having to serve jail time or anything,
He pled guilty and
he pled guilty.
Yeah.
So like
So
he
he's not
said,
serving
yeah,
anything.
everything on the laptop's legit. Biggest thing is the implication of using foreign power to gain money
his daddy.
with our current president, right? Which is a big no-no because he was the VP at the time, and we've talked about that like for length. So, but it's like, okay, now all the information's there. They have the bank accounts, they have the wire transfers, they have the money, they know who these people are, the players, the text, everything, and he even said, "I'm guilty of it." Yeah, it's true.
He's free.
It's all true. And he goes, they're like,
Yeah. Are you sure?
Make a decision in 2 fucking days, dude. In 2 days. It took OJ, and he did it. The only thing he didn't do is plead guilty.
OJ did that shit.
Yeah. Or there's a fucking psycho still out there who's in his late 60s now.
Okay, so here's a big question for you guys. So if Hunter Biden's getting off and all this stuff is true, how are they still prosecuting Donald Trump? That's my question. How is that still kind of going through?
I think that they are going to start going after Biden so that they could put one of their shills in there. And like I hear word that's like, oh, it's going to be like someone like Newsom and everything. And God forbid, I hope it's not. But I think that they're I know that the White House staff or the White House news room and all that, they're all starting to turn a little bit because they're all just asking the same questions and all that. And then who's the person that talks about or who talks to the press?
The press secretary.
Press secretary. Like, so basically she's like, oh, well, that's family. And like, I'm not here to talk about family issues. It's like, yeah, well, if they keep on bringing it up, it's like, well, even if this person wasn't related, like, let's say that person wasn't related to the president, would you still invite that person to the presidential dinner or whatever and everything?
Yeah.
And she just would not like.
Because Hunter was out there. He was shooting. Yeah, I saw the clip you're talking about. And she's just like, I'm not weighing in on that. We're not talking about that. But that's been happening a lot, like in the last few months. So it is kind of interesting
that they're starting to turn.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, he's old. He can barely talk. He just said something the other day. He was in China, or talking about China, and he said that he's like, I'm glad we can make a deal with Iran. You know? And it was like, God, Joe, fuck.
Leader of the free world.
Yeah, I was like, you're our guy. You're the front runner. When people are like, United States, it's like, that's his fucking picture. That's like our biopic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like king and just some weird old dude who can't keep it together.
Yeah.
But anyway, but all these things, right? It's like, you know, then that because originally what we started with was the sub.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that happens next day. Oh, the sub are so sad. It happened. Da, da, da. Like, if anything, if I was the family members, I'd be pretty pissed about that. If they
false hope,
they knew about it.
Yeah,
like that came out that it was either the Navy or whoever that found the area. You know how there was the day where they were like, they have 7 hours left. They have 5 hours left. If they're not in 3 hours, they're gonna suffocate and die. This like they're putting this out there.
But they were already dead.
Wow.
Well, right. It happened a couple days prior. They knew about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But or let's say the Navy, or I don't even know if it's the Navy, but whoever is an operation of that.
Found,
That information was out there, and I'm not saying it's their reason. They're not in the business of telling the public what's going on, but that information gets relayed up the chain, and that's when it gets stymied. And when it does, and it correlates with these other events that normally would, you know, any other person in the world would have, or at least in the United States, politically wise, would be front and center, spotlight. This is the news story. You'll hear smoking gun term a billion times again.
Well, it's almost like smoking gun doesn't even matter anymore.
Well, we don't need a smoking gun. They're like, we got the body, got the bullet.
Everything's there.
Yeah, we got the person taking a picture, a selfie, shooting.
Fingerprints.
Timing.
Let them off. 30%.
Yeah, so and that's the case, right? It's like he got a plea deal he owed like $200,000 in back taxes, and he read like a felony misdemeanor for an unregistered gun.
Dude, okay, can you guys imagine
you're going to jail forever.
If that was you or me, if that was you or me, we would have had the book thrown at us. Completely.
Dude, that's millions and millions. Like, you know, we're in upwards of $30+ million that you're just moving around.
Well, and here's the
people
thing,
do
man. It's amazing. I want to say well played. Let's say this is all true, and they worked this out. It is. They did lie to us. But think about those 3 or 4 days, right? It was people. A lot of women were talking about it. I'd never seen so many posts and stuff on social media, and it's like they were saying between men and women, the women were more into it. They were into the story, asking each other.
The submarine story?
Yeah, the submarine story. You know, so it's almost like they used it as it was smart, right? That's a heck of a smokescreen because everyone was talking about it. Memes, TikToks. So every type of social media you can think of, people are talking about it.
Right, and if you didn't want anything that was going to be counter narrative to, you know, I'm sure, I mean, I think it's most of the multimedia company or news channels, right, outside of basically Fox, like, they all, it seems like they're in support of Biden. So like anything that would counter that, they're going to use. In this case, they already had good, feedback, and it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
And I guess I get that, but I'm like, how convenient, it just shit happens. And I'm not saying that sub went down for any specific reason. I'm just saying like just how shit seems to happen. It's just like, yeah, well, it's all good. Back to the story, So anyway, super sad.
Is there any conspiracy behind the sub going down?
Not that, I'm sure there is, but I've never read anything about it.
Yeah.
Like as far as like, was it sabotage to create a diversion to
exactly? Yeah, like you went there.
I don't know. That's and actually that's kind of a good transition to what's going on with like
JP.
I was gonna say in Russia.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's kind of like the whole conflict and everything that's going on. If you guys have read anything in the past few weeks, there's like this Wagner group. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah.
Right.
The coup, the co-op, or
the coup is what they're trying to do is basically underthrow Putin, and there's ties with the Ukraine and all this stuff. It's kind of just been happening, and there's like, at first it seemed like, oh shit, there's something going on over there, because there was like these reports that were coming out were saying like, the Wagner group is now in possession of the Southern Army of Russia. And then it was like, they've occupied the Capitol building and this and this. There was always like kind of weird and like timed out reports. And I'm like, oh shit, like crazy. This means like shit is really going to happen. Because now you have whether you think he's sane or crazy, like we're going to really test that crazy button with Putin. Because that's what everyone's worried about, right? Everyone's worried about like, they're going to nuke us or somebody, It's like, I personally think that no one's going to nuke anybody because that's going to be the end of humanity. Exactly. And it's like, why would we just destroy shit if we're never going to be able to recoup it?
Right.
It's the most unsmart business plan you could possibly have. So I kind of don't think that ever will happen, but they flex with it. Anyway, what was interesting with that is that there was this buildup. And you started seeing it. It was on CNN. It was on Fox. It was on, local news channel. They're like, military coup inside of this. So-and-so is going here. The Putin's on the run. All this kind of headlines and shit.
Right.
And then, nothing. Nothing. Like, literally nothing. Like, we're watching. This isn't like another country where the United States is like, not to say that it's not important, but definitely not like headline type of news. I would say basically anything outside of Russia or China might fit that category. Mm-hmm. But this was Russia with Ukraine. We spent $150 billion on them now. Maybe a little less, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
And now you're not going to cover that story. It seems like a pretty big win for Ukraine, right? I was like, at least tell us you're doing something positive with all fucking money you're giving them.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And I started reading shit about. It was like that whole coup thing might have been a false front from Russia.
Wow.
To utilize that to move military assets in better positioning to either one, defend themselves, or two, keep pressing on Ukraine.
Wow.
And they were able to do it because instead of them looking like, like we got to protect ourselves and start shelling up.
Yep.
They started moving those bigger assets into spots that are now closer to the target that they're moving towards, but they did it under the we're doing this to protect ourselves type thing. Like they're on the run. We got them.
Yep.
And then this dude might be in cahoots with Putin, the Wagner Group official.
Whoa. Yeah.
So basically setting up this whole thing to move stuff to be able to press Ukraine worse.
God.
And now I don't know if that's real. I don't know. There's a lot of things I read that make it seem like it's what happened.
That's why I say, what is real? What do we believe?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what makes me think it's real is you don't see this shit on TV anymore.
Damn.
That's why I think it's real. Mm-hmm. Like, not because it's, it's like, yeah, okay, if it was the opposite, like what we're promoting as a country of saving another country from the big bad guy, that's a front press shit every day. Putin's on the run. 12th round's coming. Putin's going down. Da-da-da-da-da. All that shit. But no, it just stopped. And then I started seeing and the other types of news networks and whatnot. So reading about it. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be like the most genius move ever. No, not saying it's good, but like you utilized all the shit that's out there as far as new technology against itself to gain position. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yep.
Anyway. It's interesting. Man, dude, because I wonder how much closer Russia's getting to NATO territory. That's the big one that worries me, because then that means NATO gets involved, which I would imagine then follows us. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I mean, Ukraine's the one country border to the next NATO country over, just to the east. And then that was the whole deal with, because I think Belarus is southeast, so it's like the Balkan states, but one over, right? Then you start getting into NATO country. So like basically they're shelling up with either a one country border between them. Some of those are like very small countries. Right. So, and everyone has a capacity of shooting each other from each side of the world anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, it really seems like it's on the doorstep as far as like if this continues to go forward. But that was one of the deals with the Belarus guy, because they're Russia side. And then they made an agreement to take the Wagner Group guy.
Right.
Because they supposedly had him. And then that's when the news stuff stopped.
Whoa.
Because it was like,
shoot, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now, again, I haven't read shit today, so maybe something changed. Not trying to say I'm up to date completely with everything or a specialist of anything. I just find it like really interesting stuff to read.
Well, you know what?
So, like this supposedly is really happening as we're talking. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what I want to know is how come our news media, and I don't care if it's left wing or right wing, how come no one's covering a lot of this stuff in detail? Why are we only seeing... Not that these people passing away in a Titan Sub's not a big deal, but how come we're only seeing that? Or news on actors? Or look at Biden. You see Biden? They're saying it looks like he pooped himself.
No.
Live on TV.
Is this new?
Yeah, he just walked off on live TV. Like, they said, oh, thanks for coming. He just got up and walked, but he's kind of waddling.
Like, gotta go.
You're like, oh, no. But how come we're not covering stuff that really matters, that's going to affect countries and people's lives? Why is it always BS?
It's boring. People don't like that shit.
Right. It's boring. And then like also, again, the money that's involved in it. But also, again, maybe this makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's just propaganda at this point. It's like they're going to tell you what they want you to hear and not what you need to hear and not what's actually going on in the world. Because again, like you said, Sam, it's boring. It's like there's a lot of stuff that's boring. There's a lot of stuff that's tedious, that's long, and that people aren't going to really pay attention to. I mean, there'll always be a few that will, but yeah, no, they don't want to tell you anything. They don't want to educate the public on what's actually going on. They only want to tell you what the government wants you to hear.
They also give you surface level shit.
Exactly.
So they're like, you can't get any deeper than this.
Yeah.
And that's only for these particular things. Like the submarine. You get detailed with that.
Yeah.
But you can't give everyone all the information. You gotta keep something.
Yeah. Yeah, and also too, it's like they caught on to the fact that majority of this country just reads the headlines and not the actual substance. Right. So they're like, okay.
That's so true.
So it's like, so
I'm not surprised. Right. Because I'm guilty of that sometimes. To be honest,
we all are. We all are. Like I am too. Like I'm definitely guilty. But it's like, it's like, oh, okay, our audience is lazy. So let's just give them like this like fluff, or like, let's give them like this, what's the word I'm looking for? Just this exaggerated title and everything, and then we'll just kind of repeat that a few times, and that's what the facts will be when it's not really actually the facts. That's just like the title.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Fact-based headlines.
Yep.
I wonder if we can come up with a company that fact checks headlines.
What's your $1 billion idea?
I mean, it's got to be worth a couple bucks.
Something. I don't know. It's just
not a total fact check. We don't dive deep. No. We just make sure the superficial shit's good.
Is the headline correct?
Yeah. Spelling, pronunciation.
Yeah. Well, I bring it up because, like I said, I don't really have the news apps on my phone anymore.
Yeah.
But then you see what hits headlines, and I want to say, this is the best you got?
Exactly.
Like, you guys really serious? This is what you want to report on?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Granny the pig that's been alive for 50 years? Dude, we got other countries getting taken over. We're being threatened. People don't even understand. We get threatened with nuclear stuff all the time from different countries.
Yeah.
The people are trying to
China with
North Korea.
North Korea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, but people, the infiltration of the Chinese to the southern border right now, that's happening, and they're catching them. They're catching massive people on terrorist lists in America coming through the southern border. And you only want to talk about an elderly pig that's dying at 50, or, like Biden takes a trip and fall. Like, honestly, it's crazy. It's sad that Biden's falling. I really do think it's terrible. It's sad. But you're going to report on that and not talk about these hard-hitting issues that could change our lives eventually?
Well, they can't talk about that, though. They can't talk about the southern border, which is like, and I'm not saying this from like crazy conservative standpoint. I'm just saying it because if they talked about everything that went on, it would definitely not look productive.
Right.
And the amount of money and time and political leverage that either party uses against the importance or not the importance of having a secure border, they don't want everyone to know exactly what's going on. Because like what I would say about it is that if the average person who feels like border control is bad, they don't get what really happens down there. And then the bummer part of saying that out loud is because it immediately makes me look insensitive, because it's not saying the people who are good people, who are hardworking, who want to start and live the American dream and become successful and do everything they can do to provide for themselves, their families back in from where countries are coming from.
Right.
Like, I get that. And I think those people are awesome. And I keep pushing. I get it. I wish we had a better way of doing it. I wish we had a more secure way of doing it, because the reality is that you gotta create basically it's like a risk analysis. You say, okay, for every 100 people that come over, one of them's a terrorist. Or when I mean terrorist, I can mean like that could be gang affiliate, drug mule, cartel, whatever. All those, they all in the same category. It's all bad. Right. So what's an appropriate number? Is it 10 to 1? Is it 100 to 1? Is it 1,000 to 1? You know what I mean? Because when somebody comes over and you hear about the story, it says second time convicted shoots a 5-year-old on the streets in El Paso, not affiliated with what the person's doing there, but finding out that person's been deported twice, right? So it's like, but makes it back over. And you're like, okay, I think it's a fair statement to say that shouldn't happen ever again. Right? That person's a piece of shit and I don't care. Right. Don't let them come back over.
Well, here's the thing that I don't think some people are going to be sensitive about it, right? I agree with you. And it's not, it's like you said, I'm not trying to be any type of racist or discriminate, but what really gets me about what else is happening down there is what they're doing to these children. They found a girl, and this is going to be rough for some people to hear this. I remember reading it, and I was so sad when I read this. There's a little girl, they found her at the border. They found 22 different semen inside of her.
What?
13 years old.
No way.
13 years old. And people, do you realize that they're using these kids to come through, right? Oh, this is family, right? But people don't know a lot of them being sex trafficked, raped, all across, coming across the border all the time, being passed around. And I want to say, and you're okay with that. You're cool with that? It's happening because we have an open border.
Right.
You want to stop this, we need to close the border. That's going to help a little bit at least. But when I heard that, I was so taken back. I'm like, dude, people are so disgusting and inhumane in this world and have no respect for life or people, women, children, especially women. Sex trafficking is $1 billion industry. It makes more than the fucking pro football combined.
I wouldn't.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. It's insane.
It's sad, but it's,
don't even get me started on that, because they're finding stuff like how the government's kind of supporting some of that. So I don't want to say anything yet, because I don't want to it's not facts.
Okay.
But there's some things that you read, you're like, oh, I mean, it's a little convincing. But there needs to be more homework done on it. But that's the problem with right now the southern border. You have terrorists on the most wanted list that they're capturing and getting come to the southern border. But people don't understand what's happening to these kids. Little boys and girls are getting raped.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's so incredibly sad.
Well, it's disgusting.
Yes.
That's what it is. And sad. All the above. Everything. It's the worst of the worst. And to have if you don't die and you've lived through that, fucking crazy.
Right.
But it's like, okay, well then what is the answer, right? You're never going to stop bad people. Bad people exist no matter how good things are, society, whatever, upbringing, family, all this shit. Dude, the bad people exist, and not everyone's bad, it's not a 50-50, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe 80-20. No, I'm just kidding. but that happens, right? So it's like, that's why having some kind of control to me is important as far as people that can come in. And my hope is to create the system of, we will take good people in, and even people have made fucking bad decisions, but not raping kids and killing people. I feel like, there's got to be some kind of structural like morality that's like, it's non-religious based.
Right.
I mean, it is, but it's like, don't kill and don't diddle kids, period. You know what I mean? Outside of that, you fucking laid on some payments, make some crazy decisions, taking food, shit like that. I get it, or I don't get it. And that's why I can get what that shit does. But, and it's just like, I don't know. But when that comes up, you don't talk about it. You'd rather talk about the pig that you said about earlier. Like, it's fucking 46. Crazy. I was like, hi, we're here with Gertrude in Iowa. Tell us why we're here, Gertrude. She's like, well, Betsy's 47 years old. She's 350 pounds and runs a 4.4. You're like, wow, that's amazing. God bless America. And you're like, God, dude. Okay. And going back to even what you said, Sam, dude, the reason why that's not on there is because it's boring to people.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear constant negativity, and I can get that. I mean, maybe I'm more inclined to think about that stuff as I get older, because it's like, I'm like, kind of like, God, this shit's still happening, like that kind of feeling.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's like, but the average consumer, when they turn the television on, or they're thumbing through their phones, and you get to see Google prints you 10 news stories.
Yep. Yeah.
If every day is like, do you know how much we've lost as a country?
Yeah.
Do you know how much you're going to pay next year? Hey, 2 years from now, this is what you're going to pay. Yep. I hope you get a better job. I hope you work a little bit more. I hope your boss gives you a raise, because shit's about to get tough over the next 5 years. You're probably not going to click that, because you're like, fuck, it's like getting a bill in the mail. You're like, if I don't open it, they don't know. You know what I mean? We don't have to get into jury duty. Seriously.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Be like, bro, they miss my house every year? That's crazy. I was like, the system sucks. I was like, I've had the same address for a while. I was like, but
dude, I'm the same way. I still like to receive mail just as a reminder for, you can go paperless.
Oh yeah.
But man, I stack it. And, from having homes throughout the years and all the stuff that we do, I already know when all of it's due.
Yeah.
So I don't need to look at it.
Right.
But you see it stacked.
Yep.
And it makes you, though, a little bit.
And I always wait till the last day. Always wait till the last day.
Yep.
Think you're going to get that charge? Nope. Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, man.
Oh, totally.
It's crazy. I feel like it also divides. So, and people, they want to not just feel happy, but they want to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So when you have these stories that come up, and they're forced to have an opinion, and they know that other people are going to have a differing opinion. It's like, I don't want to. Nope. I don't even want to go there. Even though it's going to start healthy conversation, we're going to be able to discuss this. Why do you like it? Why don't I like it? Maybe we can come to some type of, we don't. It doesn't have to come to blows or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think people they don't know how to get to that point.
Yeah.
Well, share the room.
It creates echo chambers, and then like a lot of these inflammatory topics, and create like the absolute opposition within the country. I also think that as far as when it comes to like the media, we live in a bubble. I think, Jordan, what you were saying is like no one wants to hear it because it's boring, or it's like it's too negative all the time. And I think that sometimes, and Tim, you've said this multiple times, but it's like we have it so good here in America, in the United States, that it's like we don't really understand like all like the bad shit that actually goes on in the world, because life is actually really hard. Life is intense. Life is super stressful. People die all the time. It's like, but like, and like, it's like here in America, obviously we have our own shit too, but I think that we live in this bubble, but within that bubble, it's like, oh yeah, let's fuck shit up a little bit. Let's stir the pot. Let's get everybody mad at each other and divide the country. So because it's always that divide and conquer, when really it's like, no, we're all American. We are all a part of this. We should all have healthy dialogue, like you said, Sam.
Yeah. You go to other countries, and that's what you see, bro.
Yeah.
You see people are looking at us, and they're like, wow. like that's America. Like they're like, what the fuck? And they know everything about us.
Yeah.
We know nothing about the world.
Exactly.
You know, because we're here.
Well,
like, why do I need to know anything about the world when I'm here?
I do.
You know,
I think that also goes into the fact that like we are kind of isolated from like the rest of the world in a way that is, you know, because like Europe is all interconnected because we're bigger than Europe.
Yep.
Like all of the like all of the 50 states in America, like, are way bigger than actually whole Europe. So it's like, so we kind of have our own like economy. We have our own way of doing things because there's a huge body of water.
Right.
And then obviously there's the internet age and everything, and where Europeans are like, oh, why did you know anything about us? And we know everything about you. And like,
and we're a single unit.
Exactly.
You know, America is one unit. But you go to Europe, what I love about Europe is that there are languages everywhere and different people everywhere. Mm-hmm. But they come, you know, they're right there.
Yeah.
In America, you know, you come to America and you become American.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's super
Right.
dope, you know, but you kind of almost lose your culture, you know, when you come to America.
Yes and no.
Yeah. So you don't lose it, but I'm
Right.
saying you almost like that's what happened to my dad. My dad's still Nigerian. I love him.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
your dad.
love,
Oh,
my
my
dad's
God.
dope, you know, but I feel like he kind of let it go because he's like, oh, finally got here. Yeah. All right. Let's act to the part, you know?
Right.
He's like, shit, Sam, where the fuck you been?
I tell you.
Just hawks a fat loogie and a spitter, dude.
What's going on, man?
Like, I said 7, damn it.
And his dad is like dark, dude.
Dark, man.
Does he have-
Nigerian,
but did he
bro.
have a little bit? Does he still have an accent?
he
a little
still has
bit?
an accent,
Okay,
yeah.
well,
Yeah,
it
and he
doesn't
jokes
lose
around.
that because that's when it'll be weird. He's
Right.
like, "Good evening, Samuel.
Yeah.
Welcome home."
Sam, you are home.
Yeah.
Great.
And after
Great
Sam,
to see you.
Sam, after your birthday, I think your dad thinks I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah, he does. He thinks you're an alcoholic and he thinks you're a glutton. He was like, Timothy can eat so much. Oh, did you see him eat? Oh my God. Oh my God. He eats so much. Yeah, my mom was like, oh.
Dude, they were
pouring and eating everything, bro.
Well, it was your birthday, and you know what I mean. I'm on meal regimens, right?
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
the weekend.
Yes.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
we're at my boy's birthday.
Yeah.
I'm going ham.
Yeah.
I'm here to celebrate someone I love.
It's a celebration. Drink, eat, be a glutton. That's what it's about.
That was
Y'all were
fun.
having so much fun.
Dude,
And
that
I
was
just
so
like,
fun.
Jordan, oh my God. If you would have been there and
I've been right next to Tim.
Right next to Tim.
Your dad would have felt the same about me.
He was
Like,
leaving,
get out of here.
man.
You disgust me.
Yeah, well, Ellen was sitting next to me.
I was
but
I was messing with them so much.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was so
I was
messing with
loving
them. I was
it,
like, dude, like, do you know that they know you're high right now?
high on life.
High on life, buddy. I get up like that every day. I'm loving it.
Yeah, high on life. No, I just remember sitting across and just feeling your parents.
Yeah.
Your parents' eyes, but they were on me, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. I haven't seen you guys since I was like 10 years old, but
Dude, I think most of it was that he was just looking at you like, wow, that's Timothy. Yeah, he's grown. Yeah, because he's like, oh, so you hang out with Timothy again this weekend, huh? Yeah. Oh, hi. I'm like, yeah, we're just chilling. We just talk. We talk for about an hour. So he's like,
is he drinking all that alcohol still?
You're going to see him today?
Yeah.
Tell him to stop. He's going to die.
Oh, man.
And my dad, he runs 12 miles a day uphill. He's
Both ways.
What's this?
on foot. He runs it on foot.
On foot. He gets there. He really gets there.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
But anyways, no, there's
hearing
a
that
show
stuff.
I've been watching. It's on the History Channel. It's a little bit old. You remember the show? It's like The Men Who Built America.
Yes.
Over at J.P. Morgan. There was another
Yeah.
one about like Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett. I can't remember what it's called, but it's something like that. The men who
okay.
conquered the wilderness and actually, traveled from the East Coast to the West Coast. No roads, nothing.
Just
New territory, Indians everywhere. Okay, I remember when they found the fort in Oregon on the ocean, right? You want to talk about some hard people? The women that came across too, and had to battle Indians. And I'm talking like we've talked about this before, but we have it so good, right? So freaking good.
No doubt.
Whereas back in the day, everybody fought, everybody worked, dude.
Yep.
Well, I think that's probably the most unanimous thing is that like the
Why are you laughing at me, by the way?
No, because I'm like, the Indians fought hard too.
When he said that, he was like, they fought
The
him.
fucking Indians, it took them down. I was like, well, I mean, it's debatable that they pressed into an area these people were from. I get that. So but the hardship of gaining ground, land for whatever, because at these time periods, no one cared about if there's a group of people where you're from. They have a motive, objective. They're going to get there. Yep. Now, both sides of that create controversy, right? Because you're either one, defending your land, or two, trying to impose your will on that land. And that ends with death, destruction, friggin' disease, time, loss, all that stuff. But they make it.
Yes, but dude.
And that's what's crazy, is that you're like, you walked all the way across the United States with no roads, facing all these potential issues that can kill you, and they still had the tenacity to keep going.
They made it.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
They were talking about how Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett, or is it? I think it's Daniel Boone. It's Daniel Boone and then one of his commanders. They butted heads. I could be getting the story wrong, but they butted heads. One of the two. Anyways, they were saying how they were both had similar lives. They were born in the middle of the woods in a log cabin. I just, dude, when that hit me, I was like, wait a minute, dude. Okay, let's talk. I was like, let's talk about this, Tim. Let's talk about this. Imagine your house in the middle of nowhere in some territory that you know nothing about. There's no doctors. There's no medicine. There's nothing, and you get your wife pregnant. Okay, and now you got to deliver that baby, and you got to keep your wife alive.
Yeah,
you got nothing else.
That's on you.
And the kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the kid.
Yeah.
On top of having to find food to kill, to eat.
Yep.
On top of finding water, there's so much stacked against you. There's so much stacked against you, and they still thrived and made it.
Yep.
It's wild. I always say this: Americans are founded on rebellion. We were rebels.
Literally.
We said we don't care what you say or what you think. Literally. We're gonna do what we want to do.
Yep.
We're gonna do it how we want to do it, and we'll do whatever it takes to make sure we survive.
Yep.
And look where we're at now. We can sit in the studio with a Nicolas Cage carpet, cool signs, mics, cameras, right? Because some hard people made hard fucking decisions and lived hard lives to ensure our freedoms. Now we're here now. It's wild shit.
It sounds like runaway slave type shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore, and I'm going to go in that direction. And it's going to take, me progressively getting there. So it's going to take
maybe
time.
not even you.
Right.
It's your kids.
Exactly.
That might reap the benefit of the move you make now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's even crazy. And again, right? Like just whatever avenue of the exploration and moving forward, because there's so many different examples of that. But just the person to take the step to do it and to keep doing it and being willing to die, like literally willing to die for it, and knowing that you're not even going to see the success.
Exactly.
You're not. You might get a glimpse enough to be like, hey, we moved in the good direction. Okay, my lifetime's done. Get bit by a snake.
Right.
What are they? Not delirium. Dysentery. That's what always got me in Oregon Trail. I used all my money on bullets because hunting buffalo was cool.
It's so stupid.
Fucking 3 days in, Jim's got dysentery, don't have the medicine, can't sell the pelts. Everyone's dead.
You're so freaking stupid.
Tell me you guys packed up medicine on Oregon Trail? Bullshit. Because if you didn't, you only got 5 shots. We were eating fat, dude, the first week of the trip. They're like, you got 3 buffalo? Fuck.
Dude, it's like real life though, right? They made that game so the odds were always stacked against you.
100%.
Which is just what they went through.
Right, you gotta be smart.
The fact that our country, and we got to where we're at, and if you look back on history and what those people really had to go through, if you really look at it, people now, and this is okay because our culture, we got it good, easy, right? You put people from our time in that fucking situation, they're done.
Nope.
Oh
they're
my
done. Okay, and it's not to sound crazy.
I would include all 4 of us.
Yeah.
If they're like, boom, it's 1760, and we're just happen to be in this California territory, in this, we can even have the house already.
Yeah, I mean, let's
well, actually, we'd probably be pretty good. Tim's got a pretty strong arsenal.
Right.
Yeah.
We'd survive for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, if we
But is
went
it
back in
just us
time,
4?
I just want to say,
Like Pride Month?
think about it though. Think about it, dude. If we went back in time, Sam and I wouldn't be fighting. We'd be carrying your fucking food, your shelter, all your stuff.
bitch. I wasn't even here during slavery. Pick a different guy. I was Lebanese, dude. People were slave too.
Fuck that shit.
Well, that was kind of a melting pot of crazy shit from my background.
Forgot you're Lebanese, bro.
It's okay. I see what you did there. And you're right. That could have possibly been a case for some people. We'll leave you out of it, Evan. Evan is the whitest man in the room.
I don't know how far my heritage goes back.
Either way, but what you're saying, though, right, is that just who knows? And the timeline of how hard life is for everybody, or even more so for others, it's like, that always translates. Because right now you can say the same thing. Like socioeconomic change, people on top are crushing it, everyone on the bottom is fucking hurting, you know, to a certain extent, or really the worst, you know, and that changes. But right now we're the most safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you're transient, and let's say you're not drugged out, and you just, every day, I got to go find stuff to take money, to make food, to go here, I can stay here, where am I going to stay tonight? I can't do that. All this shit. Hard. But you didn't have to worry about a fucking wolf pack eating you, or whatever. You know, pick a crazy animal, or like, hey, I'm in the desert.
Like through winter, dude.
Right.
Having enough food to get through winter.
You know, it's terrible. But like, and that's the thing, right? So it's like, conditioned wise, as a race of humans, it's the easiest it's ever been.
You think it's gonna get? So we're where we are now. You know, so do we see the progression getting even easier?
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Oh my God.
Or because we're gonna have, you know, technology is gonna explode, or it is exploding. You know, so I wonder have you guys? I mean, I know you guys have heard of you know, being able to alter genetics.
Oh yeah,
and CRISPR, bro, and being able to basically create whatever you want, like the perfect individual. Like today I went to the dentist, and I have you know, teeth that need fillings. And people's like, yeah, you got a lot of cracks. And I was like, why? And he was like, just because of your bite. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, it's not anything, you can't really prevent it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, so I'm just naturally fucked. And he's like, yeah. And I mean, he didn't say that, but you know, it's like you can almost select that out. You know, so natural selection.
Right.
I mean,
you have the best teeth ever.
Right, exactly, you know, bro. Like, I mean, that's just one thing,
dude. Sam,
you know, I mean, it's more intelligence than anything. You know,
you have too strong of a jaw, dude. Your jaw game is too strong.
Jaw game is too strong.
Maybe your bite's just over the normal standard pressure.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
well, that's funny. That's a good example, because I at a dentist, not the same as far as my teeth cracking, but the doctor or dentist was like, this is weird. Your teeth actually look pretty good from the outside, but they're like rotting from the inside out.
That's what
Because I had not all of them, but like I had like a crown, and then one of them split my tooth in half, like randomly just eating normal. And I for sure don't have that strong of a bite. And then like, you know, it was like,
God, that hurts too.
Yeah. And then I was just like, what the? Because I was pissed because it was like $3,000. That's the other thing, dude. Fucking dentists.
Yeah.
Let me be, you know, thank you for what you do, but also F you for how much you charge.
Oh my God.
You know, it's like, because how many insurances are covered by dental? Like, you have to have this special, like, I thought I had dental insurance. I went to a dentist. He's like, oh, we don't cover that shit. You know, I was like, well, how much is it?
Out of pocket.
We'll work a deal out with you, buddy. Oh, you got 2 crowns, another cavity. You need a cleaning. I haven't done that in a while. Let me guess. You're like, okay, boom. Next thing you know, you're $5,000 into a trip to the dentist, which doesn't make you want to go back. I hate to break it to anybody, but when I get dinged with something that I feel like I can't control that,
right? Yeah,
I don't want to go back.
No, hell no.
The next thing I asked, I'm like, how much to get fake teeth?
Exactly.
Yeah. He's like, you don't want to do that. I was like, I beg to differ.
Right. It's about the same.
They look great. And they can drill those things in, so you don't have to wear that shit. Your teeth will never come out. You'll just have the perfect smile.
Right.
All the time.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I have pretty good health insurance and dental, but I cracked my tooth mountain biking, and I had to get they had to shave it down, and then put the fake crown.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, you don't have to, but we highly recommend. We need to take an X-ray. I was like, okay, was that covered by insurance? They said no. It'll be $550. So I don't want the X-ray then.
Oh,
like I don't care.
It's cracked. You just told me it was cracked. I believe it.
Sure.
The doctor and whoever the other dentist, the hygienist, they were in there. They wouldn't start. Like, no, we need to do this.
Oh, no kidding,
dude. They pressured me for like 20 minutes. I said, hey, look, I'll go somewhere else. I need this done. To give me a root canal. That's it. So I can get my crown.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I'm done. And they said, okay, we'll do it for free.
No way.
Yeah, dog.
I mean, that's great. Good for you. But damn them.
Yeah.
Because how many people that don't do what you did and you finally were just like, this is bullshit. It's like, it's like the first time you're buying a car.
I was gonna say,
You know what I mean?
bro.
They're like, the sticker says 12, and they're like, this is a great deal. It's $10,000 off. Da da da. You're like, oh my god, but I only have $8,000, and they're like, I'll be right back.
Yep.
Come right back. They'll be like, we could do $9,000.
Right.
And then you're like, I just told you. I literally have $8,000. That's it. And they're like, come on. 10 minutes later, I'll be right back.
Yep.
They're like, $8,400. You're like, that's cool, except I can't.
Yeah, I have $8,000.
You know this, $8,000. Right. And then 5 hours later, you get it for $8,000.
Yep.
They're just trying to wear you down. But yeah, when that happened,
I'm
to
winning
me,
this
I remember
fight,
thinking, because I picked my stuff up and I was like, well, I'll just go somewhere else because I need this done.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you need. To me, I was like, we know it's cracked. We know I need a root canal and a crown. Just do it.
Yeah.
But it's like, are you trying? I was thinking they're trying to get money out of me.
Yep.
Yeah, that trying. That's what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Did you get the
dude.
teeth cleaning too? That one's because
I got
spoiler alert. Everyone who has dental insurance, like the big thing they like to tell you every single time you go in, they're like, "If you had your annual cleaning, because that's covered." And it's literally just someone that jams on your teeth for 3 minutes with some wonky wand thing, and they're like, and then you know what I mean. And like, granted, it does feel good. I like it. I'm like, I'm clean. My stuff's clean.
Yeah.
But no, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
Dude,
it's fucking
funny enough.
I totally. I think it was last year. I went to the dentist for my annual cleaning.
yeah.
I remember for some reason I think I did some long ride or run, and I got there. I was really tired. I fell asleep. My mouth open, dude.
No way.
They're like, Mr. Fisher, you need to wake up. You're snoring. We're trying to clean your teeth. I was like, oh, shoot, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's really funny.
Have you seen Horrible Bosses? Oh,
I literally actually just got my teeth cleaned for the first time in years, like years. And I was just like, I just didn't go. I was like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
And it was just like bad, like the plaque buildup in the back and all that. I was like, it was just gnarly. So when I got my teeth cleaned, it didn't feel pleasant. It felt like it actually hurt.
Oh, really?
Drilling your shit. Bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro, it was like it was that bad.
Drilling your shit.
Dude, ew. And like I was thinking, I'm like, oh god, I probably have like a shit ton of cavities and like a lot of stuff. Like there's probably a lot of stuff messed up with my teeth. And then like the dentist was just like, yeah, so just plaque buildup because you just haven't had a cleaning in a while. But but everything else seems to check out. I was like, wait, I don't have any cavities or anything. It's like, no, you have some fillings and they're holding up pretty good. I'm like, when?
Dope.
And, but
Sorry, I'm not in peak human form, Evan. Jeez, dude.
actually, you are an elite athlete. I pale in comparison, my friend. Pale.
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 I
I
was
just hate
like,
the dentist.
bro, double meaning, homie.
Boom.
Yeah.
I'm just not
You
a
look
fan
good,
of the
though.
dentist, dude.
So do you, dude.
What's that?
I'll every chance I can to shit on dentists, I'll do it. I have like the most horrible dental experience ever, and I'll keep it short because I think we're wrapping up on time.
Yeah.
But I went in, was going to this dentist. It's down like near the beach. I won't say the names because the people that worked there were super cool.
Newport Beach.
No.
I won't say the name.
You won't say I will because I know you will.
Yeah. But dude, so I go in there. It's like every time I go in, it's another filling, crown, and then like the third or fourth time I go in, it'd be a root canal. It was the same process every single time, and I'm just like, what is going on here? Like I am super weird with my breath. Like, and I'm not saying like how clean my teeth look. It's my breath. Like I don't want to have bad breaths, and like it's like a self-conscious thing for me. And so like I try to make sure I floss, I brush my teeth, I use mouthwash. Like I either chew gum or I at least have a mint Zin in at all times. So it's like I'm not putting out any stink, or at least trying not to. So I would say I have like a pretty decent, hygiene, like mouth hygiene type approach. Yeah. So, but to consistently go in and be like, hey, it's like problem after problem after problem. And like this happened during a time where I was like, I didn't eat like much sugar at all. Like I was in really good shape and like working out really hard and all that stuff. I was like peak me at that time, and it was like every time it was getting worse. I'm like, the fuck is going on? Anyway, so she's like, we're gonna do this like a temporary crown thing for you, and then but it's gonna last a little while. Then you come back in, get the regular one. If you've ever a crown, it's typically what they do. You get a temp, come back in a few days once your mold's done, and then they'll reattach it. So I went to go in for the reattachment part, and I was already kind of having a bad day, and I was like, don't want to be here, fuck. But I got this temp in, I got to do it, right? And dude, this lady was like, she's like, oh, you don't need any like numbing agent like Novocaine or whatever.
Get out of here.
She's like, it's really superficial, whatever. And I'm like, you're right. I don't need that shit. Like, I'm fucking good. You know, let's do it. And
oh boy,
dude, she was like wrenching on my face. Like she had like, I wish I could do it in the camera, because like she had her knee kind of like on the side of my chest.
What?
And like her hand like holding, and she's sweating, dude, like dripping, hitting me in the cheek, and she's just going, you know? And I was like, is this happening? I'm afraid. I'm sweating. I remember I had a tank top and some board shorts on, dude. And like, you know how they have the little like paper over the top of it? It was tearing. Cause like I'm sweating profusely. It hurt, and like there was at one point where I was like, oh, like I made this sound that was like a weird sound, but it was like a self-distress signal. Everyone in the area knew they're like wounded animal or something, you know? And yeah, dude, like she finally gets it off, whatever, and we get the other one on. I was there for like 3 hours. It was like, it was crazy. And then the I don't know what the assistant is. Professional name is called, but she was just like, oh my God, are you okay?
No.
And I was like, no, I'm not okay, Samantha. I just had a traumatic experience in front of people because there was no borders.
Oh,
I could see everyone getting shit. About 6 people heard me screaming.
Oh my God.
oh my God,
What?
And I was like, I wish I was smarter, because I would have been like, I'll see you guys in court.
Yeah. Yep.
But I didn't. Younger me was like, I'm never fucking coming back here ever again. You know, I remember walking out. They were like, are you going to book your next appointment? I was like, yeah, I am. Put me down for fuck you. And I'm out of here. Yeah, I didn't say that. The
Dude,
lady who worked in front of the counter was super sweet. But
you know what's bad when the lady is the front counter lady who came and asked you if you're okay?
no, it was the doctor's assistant.
Because she
Because
probably
she
saw
was-
the trauma you were going through.
Dude, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I've broken bones and had torn muscles and all this stuff, dude. Like, I know it hurts.
Yeah.
That, like, I feel like my threshold's pretty good. And that was the most pain I've ever been in my life. And it wasn't just the pain of the process. It was seeing someone visually struggle to do their job
Yep.
oh my God.
and trying to talk me through it.
Yep.
Like on their end. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're doing right now. You can't get it.
Yeah.
And you're using me like to like, you try to prove a point to yourself that like, I don't need to numb them up. I don't need to do this.
Yep.
I mean, I wish they would knock my ass out. And then you could do whatever you want. Like, I would be like, whatever, as long as the job's done when I wake up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That happened to a
But-
friend of mine. They put him out to get his wisdom teeth pulled,
Same.
and when he woke up, his jaw was wired shut because they broke it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, a tragic turn of events.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's like, imagine going under, right? You say you get the anesthesia and she's wrenching, and you wake up and your jaw's wired shut. Shut. They say, by the way, you know, we got the tooth, we fixed it all in the crown. We broke your jaw.
Oh my
You know, it'll be wired shut for about 3 or 4 months, but you'll be good. But we got everything covered.
I wish I was a lawyer, because I would specialize in defense claims for patients, specifically a dentist. That's what I would
I
do.
just love the hate you have for dentists.
Yeah, and you know what? And there's there's a dentist that I went when I went to last time. Amazing, fantastic guy, super nice. You know, definitely paid out of pocket, but my experience, at least, if I'm gonna pay this much anywhere I go,
Yeah.
this was the experience I would have rather had.
Yeah.
Right, and felt genuine at least. It was like he was like trying to sell me an upgrade on my fucking cavities.
Right.
Oh yeah, you know, you're gonna need. I know we used to do gold, but now we do this porcelain. Your insurance doesn't cover.
I honestly wish I would have got a gold crown. That'd be
Fuck,
gangster.
right? Same. I asked for it. I said, I was like, because it would have been something you would have barely been able to see out of the corner of my mouth.
Gangster.
Yeah, well, just sketchy. Like, you're like, This guy may have been someplace.
They said they don't do it anymore. They don't do gold.
At least the last place that I went, they were like, yeah, because gold actually will flex and then contract with hot and cold stuff, like very little bit. So what will happen is that the expansion and contraction with the glue on your actual tooth or the nub that they grind it down to has the potential to crack.
You know, the silver does the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That's got this thermo component that it just heats and then it like splits your teeth. So I'm like, and it's funny because they're always like the white or the silver, and it's like, well, of course, or the whatever copper.
Silver was cheaper, right?
It was cheaper, and that's why I always went with it. I was like,
dude, all my teeth had that in, and I had to get them like redone.
Yeah, and he's looking at me. He's like, oh yeah, they're gonna be. I mean, structurally, right now they're okay, but yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, well, let's wrap this up, guys. Thanks everyone for being here. Sam, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you.
I know you've been busy,
yeah,
dude.
Sam.
It's been so great to have you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Good to be back. Yeah, good to see you guys. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, bro.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah.
Jeez, are you guys done freaking stroking each other off? Jeez.
I was like, can you get that split screen camera? Oh my god! It's been a minute. I was like, whoa, it's over the pants. We're good. It's over the pants. Yeah. They used to call that an old fashioned. Anyway,
Jordan, you missed your calling. You should have been a comedian. The conversation we all had before we started this recording
that was funny.
all time, dude.
But that was
time.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll throw out a zinger.
That was good.
But thank you.
But anyways, guys, thanks for being here, and I look forward to next time. Sam, do you want to lead us out? Give us the countdown. Let's go on 3. You want to do it?
All right, guys. You ready? Are we ready? Are we ready for this? Yo. Let's go on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for listening in. If you liked what you just listened to, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Please follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And a big shout out to Stephen Clark, our sound editor. He's a huge part of this team that is unseen. It's 89 Barbers, our first sponsor. Look good, feel good, be great. That's 2 locations, Orange, California, and Long Beach, California. Book your appointment online, 89barbers.com. Bye, everybody.